There is a hidden reality most people never see. Not because it's far away, but because it's too close. It sits behind your eyes like a quiet shadow, steady and patient, watching you pretend not to notice. Awake minds don't have better answers. They have better questions. They lean in where others turn away. They don't chase light to escape darkness. They carry a lantern into it. And the truth is this: the deepest prisons are not walls. They're habits of seeing, patterns, scripts. The world puts a costume on you, then applauds when you forget you're acting. You call it identity. You call it stability. But listen closely. The applause is also a cage. People tell you who to be, not to help you find yourself, but to keep you predictable. Predictable people are easy to sell to, easy to control, easy to break, without ever noticing they've been bent. When you become spiritually awake, call it psychologically awake, call it finally honest, you witness the game without needing to play it at full volume. You see how fear disguises itself as ambition, how outrage disguises itself as righteousness, how kindness sometimes disguises itself as manipulation. You watch the way a compliment can be a leash. You watch the way a favor becomes a debt. And you hear the lies you tell yourself every morning to make the day bearable. They sound like motivation. They sound like self-care. But you know when you are negotiating with your reflection to avoid the rawness of the truth. The truth burns. It always has. It isn't here to comfort you. It's here to cauterize what has been quietly bleeding you. The world teaches performance. The awake learn presence. Performance asks, do they believe me? Presence asks, do I believe myself? The difference is everything. When your life becomes a performance, you measure yourself by applause. When your life becomes presence, you measure yourself by honesty. The first path makes you rich in attention and poor in peace. The second makes you stubborn in integrity, even if it costs you the crowd. Control is the secret currency of the weak. They control because they cannot trust. They manipulate because they fear abandonment. They spin narratives because reality scares them into silence. Awake minds don't need to control. They clarify. They set a boundary and let the consequences arrive like weather. They don't argue with storms. They reinforce the roof. It's not apathy. It's precision. It's what happens when you are done bargaining with your own self-respect. Pride is loud because it's fragile. Real strength whispers because it doesn't need a witness. You can watch your mind bargain with pain like a market. You can feel your loneliness reach for any hand, any screen, any distraction just to avoid hearing that hollow echo inside your chest. And yet, that echo is the teacher. The emptiness is not the enemy. The emptiness is the doorway. Those who refuse to enter it are doomed to keep, filling it with people and things that cannot stay. The cost of refusing the doorway is a lifetime of pretending you're not lost. The cost of entering is simple. Nothing fake survives. You can hear echoes of thinkers, voices like Alan Watts, reminding you not to mistake the symbol for the real, not to drown in the label while missing the living water underneath. The awake don't bow to their labels. They use them when needed and set them down like tools. They acknowledge their shadow and stop pretending their halo is natural light. Redemption is not a gift. It's a consequence. And the first step is to stop lying about what you've been worshiping in secret. Comfort, approval, control, distraction, the little gods that drain your will and sell you back your life in monthly payments. Look around. Every system you enter tries to buy your attention cheap and sell it back to you as identity. The algorithm knows your fear better than your friends do. It waits. It entices. It studies the fracture lines in your heart and slips its fingers in. Spiritual wakefulness is not about floating above all this. It's about standing so firmly inside your own body that the hooks can't find purchase. You know your weakness. You admit your hunger. And because you admit it, you're no longer a puppet of it. The harsh truth is that self-deception is strategy. It will make you more likable, more marketable, more at ease. But it will also make you hollow. The more you deceive yourself, the more you need an audience to prove you exist. To see the hidden reality is to accept the loneliness of clarity. Clarity costs community sometimes. When you stop performing, you stop fitting neatly into everyone's expectations. You will be called cold for refusing to be used. You will be called arrogant for having boundaries. You will be called heartless for declining invitations from people who only loved you when you were convenient. But there is a brutality to self-love that most people will never understand. It is not soft. It is not a bath with candles. It's looking at your own reflection and saying, I will not lie for you anymore. I will not put you back into cages because they look familiar. I will not sell your peace to buy their approval. The hidden law is simple. You teach people how to treat you by how you treat yourself in front of them. If you apologize for existing, they will invoice you for space. If you show up with quiet certainty, they will adjust the room. Not because you demand it, but because reality bends around those who refuse to betray themselves. Power without conscience is noise. Power with conscience is signal. The first floods the room, the second shapes it. The awake choose signal. They speak less, they do more. They don't announce they are different. They simply stop negotiating with what weakens them. Study your motives. Don't just ask what you want. Ask why you want it. Do you want love? Or do you want to be seen winning at love? Do you want peace? Or do you want the image of being calm while your insides burn? Do you want success? Or do you want revenge disguised as achievement? Watch how often you're driven by the hunger to be better than someone you never needed to compete with in the first place. Pride sells you ladders that lead to basements. And when you get there, you will call it a penthouse to protect your ego from breaking. Let it break. Let the image die. Every illusion you protect becomes the cage you carry. Every illusion you release becomes air you can finally breathe. When you become awake in this raw way, you feel the cost of every choice in your bones, not as guilt, but as mathematics. Say yes to this, and you will pay with that. Say no to this, and you gain that. Real morality is not performance. It's accounting. It asks, can I live with this choice at 3 in the morning when the room is quiet? If the answer is no, it doesn't matter how good it looks on a screen. The universe of your conscience does not accept public relations as currency. Only truth counts. Only the kind of grace that you earn by refusing to betray yourself counts. Here is the deepest cut. The world is not against you. The world is mirroring you. The predators smell the doubt you haven't admitted. The manipulators sense the holes you're avoiding. They are reading the truth beneath your words because you're broadcasting it without knowing. Awake minds pay attention to the broadcast. They repair the signal at the source. They step out of performances that promise belonging. They stop trying to prove things to people who like them better confused. They choose solitude over company that corrodes. And in that quiet, something happens. The mind stops spinning like a trapped fly. The body remembers what ease feels like. You can finally hear the voice underneath the noise. It doesn't flatter you. It doesn't crush you. It says, start again. Smaller, truer, now. Slow down. Breathe as if you are returning somewhere, not escaping. Notice how often your anger is unprocessed grief wearing boots. Notice how often your certainty is fear in armor. Notice how the moments you feel most powerful are also the moments you are most unstable. Because power without love is a drug that dissolves your balance. The awake train their strength to kneel before clarity. They cut ties with manipulation, beginning with their own. They stop explaining their boundaries to those invested in crossing them. They do not attend every argument they're invited to. They do not perform outrage for applause. Their no is simple. Their yes is expensive, but pure. You will lose people you never thought you could live without. And then you will live. You will miss rooms that once made you feel important. And then you will realize importance is a costume that stops fitting the moment you grow. The fear of being alone will grip you like a winter. Let it. Sit in the frost until you learn how to make a fire without using another person as kindling. Self-respect is not a mood. It's a practice. And when you practice it, your posture changes. Your words sharpen. Your schedule cleans itself. You realize how rare it is to meet someone who is truly paying attention. Be that rarity, not for fame, for freedom. The hidden reality only the awake can see is not mystical. It is practical, almost embarrassingly so. Everything changes when you stop making bargains with what is killing you. Your energy returns when you stop leaking it into arguments you cannot win. Your time expands when you stop lending it to people who treat it like spare change. Your future hardens into shape when you stop asking permission to build it. You will be misunderstood because your silence will look like pride. It's not. It's a refusal to be sold. You are done being a commodity in your own life. We like to think awakening is light and incense. It is not. It is scaffolding, sweat, and honest inventory. It is noticing that you are the one giving away the keys, the one placing the chains on your own wrists, then rehearsing outrage when the world tugs the chain. The moment you see that, really see it, you stop handing out keys. You reclaim the slow, quiet work of becoming dangerous to your own confusion. Not dangerous to others, dangerous to the parts of you that would rather be liked than free. Dangerous to the laziness that would rather argue than act. Dangerous to the appetite that feeds you stories and calls it dinner. Walk forward like a blade sheathed in patience. Learn to hold your fire without burning yourself. Let your silence grow teeth. Let your compassion grow a spine. You don't need another mask. You need a mirror you don't look away from. And when you catch your own gaze, hold it. Do not rescue yourself from the discomfort. Stay. Watch what breaks. Then watch what remains. That remainder is your life. Build from it with the slow discipline of someone who has touched the truth and refuses to forget. Awareness is the fire that burns away illusion and reveals the shape of who you really are. Untamed, unbought, and quietly unbreakable. If this made you think deeply, make sure you like this video, share it, and subscribe for more.